Well, that's some time to get up. Good afternoon, content creators. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Friday. Just had to get on here real quickly. You know, it's one of the things you have to do when you get ready to go on a cruise and the cruise industry in general. I hope you guys had a great week. I had some tense a couple of days, but it's all taken care of. Everything's all good. So let me go ahead and say, hey, we got both channels running. We got the Z Show Cruising Fun, and we also got the Z's Gaming and Home Theater. We got some things to talk about, but first and foremost, if you guys have noticed, we have another tropical storm. This was Thea, and it's the maximum sustained winds are 60 miles an hour. So it's going to be close to the North Carolina coast, and then it's going to go straight up to the East Coast. So if you are going on a cruise, if you are traveling to the East Coast, you will see some weather delays. You'll probably be seeing some cancellations. If you're flying into the Washington, D.C. area, but hopefully you're not. But when they do that, that means it's going to affect everybody across the country. So if you are flying this weekend, don't forget to have that insurance. Insurance is very important for everybody to talk about what is going on today, this weekend. So just be advised. So anything else we need to talk about? Cruising is fun anytime. Well, if you watch that show, those are my buddies, Jeremy and Cheryl. And by the way, this weekend, speaking of buddies, Sea Lake Journeys is getting ready to do a weekend show Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Central Time. So check them out, Robert and Chat. They are great people. One of the key supporters of my show and just me in general. I gotta say thank you. And also, gotta say a very special what's up to my best friend, one of my best friends. I got so many friends to tell you, buddy. Jim Welch. He is working. He works in the medical field. I won't tell what kind of medical field it is, but he works in the medical field. I know he's going to be watching this on the replay. Thank you, Jim. By the way, this Saturday will be a new update of the setup, the gaming home theater setup. I improved it a lot. That will be coming out tomorrow afternoon, so get ready for that premiere. Yeah, it's going to be a world premiere. So, yes, we got that going on. But, yeah, basically, we're talking about everything. It's open line. Open line. You know what? I should be in the news business. Should not be in the video business, but I should be in the news business because I love news. I love the weather. Before I will continue, we're going to go in here and listen to the Fox weather, the Fox channel, Fox Weather Live. They're doing a nonstop broadcast. Let's see here. So we're going to put them on. Let me unmute it. All right, here we go.
Especially not so much from this side, but from the south on the other side, that other body of water in between this island and the mainland, Bob.
Wow, Brandy, you got there last night, right? How quickly did those conditions just stir up like that? It didn't look like that last night.
Yeah. When we drove in, or when I drove in, I should say, it was sunset. It was actually really pretty. And then once it got dark outside, then we started to realize that the wind was starting to kick up. and the waves as well. So just going to sleep, it was very noisy, very, very noisy. It almost felt like the storm was already starting to kick up some activity. And so that just continued until we got live on air at 8 a.m. this morning. And again, it's just been continuous and progression. And we, of course, know that is going to continuously get worse for us here.
Brandy, stay dry out there. Stay away from the water, too. Never turn your back on the ocean. Holy cow. Fox Weather's Brandy Campbell.
Definitely got to keep turning around for that.
Please do. Thank you very much, Brandy. Good to see you. All right, we want to bring in Fox Weather Hurricane Specialist Brian Norcross. Brian, you've got the latest. What's going on?
Well, we've got a tropical storm, sort of.
Yeah.
Looking at the satellite picture here, Bob, it doesn't look like much of a tropical storm. We still have this more or less kind of comma shape going on here, which is not typical of a tropical storm. I'll explain that, what I think they found in just a second. 60-mile-an-hour winds is the estimate in terms of the peak winds somewhere in the circulation, moving to the north-northwest at 12, so it's picking up. It's going to move north, going to make landfall late tonight or early in the morning in North Carolina. And the pressure, 992, so the pressure is really quite low. All right, when we look at the water vapor in the atmosphere, if you were to just look at this, you would say, okay, that's a front right there. And it looks like that front's attached in there. It's actually goes all around like this. It's kind of an occluded front, it's called. And if it's a front attached to the system, then it can't be a tropical system sort of by definition. But the thing was that the hurricane hunters flew through there and they found a very symmetric kind of donut of winds. So those two things don't normally go together. So I think what they think is this front is kind of detached. It's clearly there, but this is enough of a tropical core to go ahead and call it a tropical storm. It also makes it a lot easier to talk about than all those potential tropical cyclone weird names and stuff like that that just is kind of confusing for everybody. So I think that's what they found. And we're going to have kind of two parts of the storm. One is going to be this northern part related to the front, and the other is the part related to the core. And anyway, we'll look at the core here close up. There you see, when we look down kind of like a photograph from space, there you see it. And what you really see is the big thunderstorms are all up here kind of related to the front, but it's trying to form some storms in here. And the hurricane hunters found very strong winds, both on this side and on this side of this donut. So I think that's what helped the Hurricane Center go ahead and call it a tropical storm. When we have the computer analyze the winds, there you see where the strongest winds are. There's this band of winds that's coming in toward the coast. That's where Brandy is now. And you can also see developing kind of a donut of winds right around there. The reds are the stronger winds. Over land, the winds aren't very strong. That's not really an issue. This is really a coastal sections storm, and it's going to continue to be that way, although the rain will extend into about I-95 or so going up the coast. There you saw the winds were quite gusty. Here on the computer model, because I want to take you forward in time, you see the moisture. This is where the moisture is analyzed, not really wrapping around the center yet. So you don't see any green in the donut so much yet. Now watch as we go forward in time. So here we are, and this is the time up here you're going to watch. So this is nominally 8 o'clock tonight. The Hurricane Center thinking we're going to have a 65-mile-an-hour tropical storm, plus or minus. And yes, the way it's been intensifying, yes, it could be 70. I mean, could it be a hurricane? It's not expected to be, but those are all fine details. But the main thing I want you to notice here is we're starting to see kind of green wrapping around here. So a bit of a core forming, but this very strong band. So by tonight, by this evening, the wind is pushing into the Chesapeake Bay, Norfolk, and in that area also starting to switch around in the Sounds there by Cape Hatteras. Those are the two vulnerable places for storm surge, most vulnerable places in the short term. All right, let's go forward in time. Here we are now, 8 o'clock in the morning. Now the center is making landfall, and look, you see a lot more green around the center, indicating some strong winds there. But also, we have this up here, this big green band that's just kind of lifting to the north. Now it's in New Jersey, pushing water into Delaware Bay. So near Cape May and Lewis, Delaware, all that is subject to storm surge flooding, and along the Jersey coast, there will be water rise above the normal high tide as this water just pushes like crazy in there. There you can see the front that's lifting north ahead of the storm. So then we go to tomorrow evening. Here we are. The center of the storm is weakening, but look at this nasty band of windy rain across New England, affecting the New York City area, Philadelphia, on up and down the I-95 corridor, off and on periods of gusty, nasty rain for the day tomorrow. And then into Sunday, we still have kind of a band of rain down here, but the overall winds are letting up on Sunday. So this is not a big threat in the Northeast. There's going to be some rain, but it's going to be ugly more than anything. The threat is really in the from the south, the mid-Atlantic on down to the Carolinas. And then by Sunday night, even weaker. But look, the rain hangs around. The upper air system, the disturbance that's kind of caused all this, and the remnants of the tropical storm all just hang around, drift around. So here we end up with this big amount of rain here. Look at this. This is 3 to 5 inches in the oranges from the Carolinas on up to the Jersey Shore. Less rain to the north of that, but nasty wind-blown kind of in the 60s kind of rain all across the Northeast. So here's the real wind threat in the tropical storm warning area. And you see it's essentially I-95 and east up and down the Carolinas into Virginia. From a storm surge threat, it's really in this area here from Chincoteague down to Cape Hatteras, and especially in the inland rivers and the inland areas. So up to Chesapeake, in Cape Hatteras, in Pamlico Sound, southern side of Pamlico Sound in here, and the rivers that affect.
All right, so let me get back over here real quickly. So this tropical storm Ophelia is hitting the east coast of the United States. If you're flying in, let me go ahead and say that again. The tropical storm Ophelia is going to hit the east coast this weekend. It's going to be hitting landfall late night tonight and early in the morning. So what does that mean with the cruise industry? Well, cruise ships doesn't like tropical storms, tropical cyclones, that's what they call it. There are some ships are detouring right now, and it's going to be delays. I got the names on the East Coast. This is doing this. Let's see here. We have Baltimore, Maryland. That's one of the cruise ports. I think it's Carnival and Royal Caribbean and all those other cruise ships out there. Today is Friday, so some of them are coming here on tonight, going back to port. Buckfather is here. Hey, how you doing, bro? How you living? Just talking about what's happening, man. We got another tropical storm, Ophelia, and once again, thank you for coming in. And by the way, if you want to see some the top 3 or the top 3 live events, guys, I need some watch hours, guys. The plan is to get 3,000. As of right now, get 3,000 by the end of October. And then I can start getting some super chats. And by the way, speaking of super chats, if you like to support our channel, go to my community page of the Z Show Cruise Fund. Hit that link. It says BMC, Buy Me Coffee. Hit that link. Take you to the link, Buy Me Coffee. You can choose any kind of denomination for that one, and I would appreciate it. It'll just go back to the channel, especially when I need some lights. I will put my ceiling fan on there, but it's a distraction, so I got to figure all that stuff out. But thank you, Buffalo, for coming in. I appreciate you coming. I haven't seen you in a while live, so I hope you're doing okay. I hope everything's going on perfectly. As I was saying, so we have a tropical storm Ophelia. Some of the key things I'm doing today is Friday. If you're going on a cruise, if you are traveling by air to the East Coast, it's going to be a rough weekend. I'm just saying. Especially those cruise ships are there trying to get to the port before the actual storm gets there. And if you're doing the rough seas, make sure you have your medicine if we get seasick. A lot of people gonna get seasick on this one, but yeah. Let's see. I think I got some key cruise ports that are gonna be affected. Baltimore, New Jersey, Benton, New Jersey. Benton, New Jersey will be a cruise port that will be affected. I'm gonna keep a live today and see if I can get some live reports if they're gonna close the cruise port or they're gonna make a delay. So yeah, especially on the weekend, this is a bad time. And yeah, let's see here. Carson, South Carolina is probably the target. It's going to hit tonight. North of South Carolina is getting the effects. It might get at least 45, 50 miles per hour winds. Saturday, Washington, D.C. will be getting some 50 miles per hour winds. Wow. Let's see here. And then it goes up to New York City. We have Brooklyn. That's where basically the top hubs of Carnival, Caribbean, MSC, and I'm missing one. Princess Cruises, and so on and so forth. Basically, the cruise lines of the East Coast are going to be affected with the weather. I forgot one more thing. Norfolk, Virginia. They got a huge cruise. They got a cruise port there, but they also got the Navy base. The huge naval base on the East Coast. I think some of the major big ships will be leaving. It depends how big the weather is. Basically, the aircraft carrier is going to be moving out in the next 24 hours, maybe 12 hours, because this storm was. Maybe they already left. We don't know, but we will keep that up to date. Let's see, Norfolk, yes, for Carnival Cruises. If you're flying in this weekend, especially if you get ready to go on a cruise, if you get on a plane this afternoon or tonight, check your airlines. Make sure you don't have any delays. Make sure you have insurance, especially when you get on the flight. Guys, don't be cheap on that. Yeah, let me go ahead. Thanks for watching. They are in a commercial break, so that's why I'm over here. We're getting ready to go back over there and listen to the live coverage of the tropical storm. Okay, here we go. Let's see what they're going to say. No.
Atlantic Beach in North Carolina. I want you to look at the way the waves are shaped. There's actually a southern-facing beach in North Carolina. It's below the Outer Banks. Winds offshore, so the waves are not nearly as choppy. Watch what happens when they build. They're shaped very nicely. There are surfers out there. They are definitely enjoying this right now. Be careful, though. If you want to surf this stuff, make sure you have at least one or two partners. Look at the beautiful curls, though. That's Atlantic Beach in North Carolina, south-facing beach. It doesn't look like that when you're on the north-facing beaches by any stretch. But let me show you the way it looks on that visible satellite imagery, and it is very interesting to see. I've been noticing this. If you watch the inner core right here, notice the little eddies that begin to develop and then fall apart and then develop again. It's pretty cool to watch that thing as it moves up to the north-northeast now at about 12 miles per hour. Zoom into the area. Look at the heavy rainfall. That shield of rain has moved in. You can see the way it goes from Hatteras, we're talking about Kitty Hawk, all the way down through Redanth Pier. Look at Wilmington. Your wind's gusting now offshore, 35 miles per hour out of the north. They're going to...
Another commercial? Are you kidding me? They do commercials, unusual for that. We do commercials like that in the middle of a broadcast, but hey, what can you do? So basically, this story's coming in for the next several hours. It's a lot of things are coming out, especially for the weekend. We'll go back for the weekend in Wilmington, North Carolina, Virginia Beach, Virginia, Outer Banks of North Carolina.
Rainfall yet to come. Look at the orange shaded region, 3 to 5 inches of rain. That's Wilmington, Jacksonville. Look up through Roanoke, getting into Roanoke Rapids as well. Here you go with the path, and it looks like it kind of washes out right over the Mason-Dixon line. But look who's in there. The East Coast is bracing for a weekend washout. Tropical storm, it's all out in this area, so we're watching this region. Norfolk, you're in there as well. The Virginia coastline is gearing up for flooding with an overnight high tide. They could reach major flood levels. The city says they are making all the necessary preps. Norfolk Emergency Manager Jim Reddick joins us now. And Jim, I appreciate you joining Fox Weather. What are your major concerns for the city of Norfolk right now?
Well, certainly the overnight high tide, 3 o'clock in the morning, our time. Like you said, it's going to be really up in that moderate level, really close to the major flooding level. And that's really a lot of our concerns. We're expecting those wind gusts upward of 50 miles per hour. And with the ground saturation, we know that we could potentially see some down trees, down limbs. And when those come down, power outages as well. And we're really ramped up for all those scenarios.
I'm looking at that right now, how you're doing the preps. Why is Norfolk so susceptible to flooding? I mean, I know you're right on the water and a couple rivers empty out there, but is it pure wind direction?
Well, you know what? I like to think that we're a city who lives with the water. We've always benefited from the water economically, recreationally, and we just know that this comes with a responsibility. So sure, I mean, the geographic location and the wind speeds that we're going to get from Ophelia and the wind speeds, direction, and strength, we know we're going to get wet.
So you've had major flooding before. What are some of the big storms that have given you troubles that you actually learned from?
Oh, Isabel, I know that was mentioned earlier. That's certainly one. The 1933 storm is our storm of record. And we know that Ophelia is not going to come close to those, but we're treating it as if it would. Our public works folks, as you can see, they're doing their preparations. We're working with our parks folks, our parking folks, where we're giving folks places to park their vehicles on higher ground for those who live in low-lying areas. Our parks and recreation folks, they're getting ready for the cleanup, for the wooded and green debris that's going to be on the roadways. And all of this in collaboration with the Virginia Department of Emergency Management, with the National Weather Service and Wakefield as well. We're all doing a really good job collaborating, sharing information, and so we can respond to this just like we would in the other incident.
Yeah. So, Jim, what do you tell the people in Norfolk? What should they expect? What should they do?
You know, the biggest message that we tell folks is not to drive in the water. Mm-hmm. They are tempted at times, and it may look like it's possible when it's really not. So it's such a huge investment to go just like that, driving in what you thought you could get through. So we tell folks not to drive in it, and a lot of kids tend to play in these waters. Yeah. And we try to encourage them not to do that as well, because they don't know, and certainly probably would not want to know what's in the flood water.
No, there are so many things that can hurt you in those flood waters, whether it be even raw sewage or gasoline or even the animals that are in there. It can be bad if you go through those flood waters. Don't go in, especially around Norfolk. Yeah, Norfolk, I'm your emergency manager, Jim Reddick. I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob. Thanks a lot.
Greg, one of the main stories that we're talking about right here is going to be the storm surge.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a main issue that we're probably concerned with starting right now.
You're talking about all that wave energy coming through, all the wind coming through. Boy, surfers might like this, but not one you want to go into. I say that because he's a great surfer.
No, but not now. Look behind
this is ridiculous. Let me get out of the way here. Look at this.
You kind of can because it's offshore wind, right? Yeah. So it's shaping it better. But then on the flip side, look at Duck, which is a northerly facing beach.
Right. And those are pretty impressive sets after set, right? A couple seconds apart.
All chewed up.
And then you talk about high tides. High tides, you got all that extra water coming in. Yeah. So what happens to all these rivers and all these inlets? They get backed up and they can't really release all of the water. A lot of these areas are used to some of the flooding, but nonetheless, we've got storm surge watch. And then to the north, Hatteras storm surge warning. We could see some storm surge up to 5 feet in some cases.
Wow. And we're talking about this. And how long is that going to stay up there, elevated?
It's exactly it. It's because of the onshore winds. And how long does it take for this to back up, depending on how back up it gets, right? So you've got the onshore winds solid right now through tomorrow afternoon. This is going up to the north here. Now we're looking at a lot of the bays, Chesapeake Bay, Delaware Bay as well. All of that getting shoved up to the inlet areas. And look at the storm surge. You're talking about 5 feet. Now, most of it during high tide, of course, during the afternoon, but it's after that. When we get to low tides, we got to let that water go through. As long as the winds start to shift direction, which is great, then you get the offshore wind as the storm moves up to the north. Winds change direction. That helps out a little bit, but nonetheless, the damage has been done. Take a look at this, up to 5 feet here. Places like Norfolk, Virginia Beach.
It's going right up the rivers, too.
Right up the rivers, yeah. James River all the way up to Potomac. Potomac can be backed up clear all the way up.
Oh, almost to the Beltway?
I was going to say, right? It's going to seem like it.
Yeah.
For sure. And then you go up to Jersey Shore. You just heard Kathy, we're talking about Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
What a mess. Here's a look at some of the high tides, by the way. The times you want to look at specifically tomorrow afternoon between 2 and 3, depending on where you live. Pay close attention to your high tide because it all changes where you live, obviously. But this is one to watch for sure, Bob.
And New York City, too. I mean,
New York City.
We're going to be, and you're running a half marathon tomorrow.
Don't
in
remind me,
Jersey
a half
City
marathon
morning.
tomorrow morning.
And you know,
I'm hoping it's a tailwind. I'm going to have my PR.
Oh my goodness. I mean, yeah, you're going to have that wind in your face with could be 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts. Jersey City, New York City, heavy downpours. Right in time for you to do it.
Ridiculous. And I will be sure to send video in. I'll share it with you
I
for sure.
want to see
Because
that.
normally I'm here on the weekends. You'll be here tomorrow too. A lot of this area here, as you know, a lot of people here are used to flooding, but nonetheless, be prepared.
Exactly. Good
Yeah.
stuff. Well, good luck tomorrow.
All right, thanks.
We are pulling for you for sure. It's already been a pretty stormy September so far for New Jersey. But strong rip currents and beach erosion have been the name of the game. Now this region bracing for another shot. Fox Weather's Katie Byrne is in Wildwood, New Jersey. And Katie, you've been there for a while too. What's the beach looking like at this point?
Well, Bob, it's choppy out there, and you really can't see much of the sand anymore. We just got over high tide. It was about an hour ago. But tomorrow afternoon's high tide is what people are really worried about. So I think they're a little bit interested in the fact that it's already so significant today, that water coming right up against the seawall. Kind of concerning for the people who live in the homes and the condos and are staying in the hotels right along the water. I know the bay side is where a lot of people are concerned about the flooding possibilities. We're on the ocean side right now, but we'll have to see what all happens. Things will look pretty different in about 24 hours. Though North Wildwood, no stranger to beach erosion. They've been through it before. We've covered it here before. You can see what it looked like after a storm last year here with this Fox Flight Team drone video. It shows you what they really deal with. And, usually you have kind of this ebb and flow with the seasons. In the summer, you see calmer waves push sand back onto the shore. And then in the fall and winter months, the fall and winter seasons rather, that's when those storms can kind of take that sand back out to the ocean. But what happened was this year, the mayor of North Wildwood was telling me that they didn't see the growth that they would typically see in a summer season, and that's really leaving their beach and dune systems pretty fragile ahead of Ophelia.
I think the two biggest concerns, particularly for tomorrow, are going to be severe beach erosion and possibly severe dune damage, number one. The second thing is back bay flooding, because the projected flood elevation is hovering around an 8-foot tide, which is about a typical high tide is maybe around 5 feet. So you're talking adding 3 feet of water on top of a normal high tide.
Afternoon's high tide, that's when the big concerns about flooding are going to take place. Beach erosion also a concern. And places like here, North Wildwood, they have invested a lot of money into keeping their beach a beach. They've invested about $30 million here in the last 10 years alone when it comes to the bulkhead they put in place, the sand and the beach replenishment, dune replenishment projects they've been working on themselves. So a lot of work being done to keep this beach from disappearing, which a lot of locals hope doesn't happen. It means a lot to them. It's where they bought their shore houses or live year round. About 5,000 people here live in North Wildwood year round. But on festival weekends like this, it's Irish weekend here, they could see up to 250,000 people. Unfortunately, though, those numbers likely will dip a bit with the storm coming in. I'll send it back to you for now, and I'll let you know that audio-wise, I'm not hearing much out here because those winds are so strong.
Yeah, no, and she's in a good part now because it's not quite raining. When it rains, it's a whole different ballgame. Katie Byrne, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Fox Weather is your Hurricane HQ as we track Tropical Storm Ophelia. Tropical storm warning span from North Carolina up to Delaware. This system will bring heavy rain, intense winds, and rough surf all the way up the I-95 corridor. We're timing it out all when Fox Weather comes right back. And be sure to share your weather videos and photos with the Fox team.
All right. Yes, Tropical Storm Ophelia, thanks to the Fox Weather Live. But you get informed that basic information for this weekend, especially in the East Coast, if you're going on a cruise. I would say you probably had some motion sickness. The waves are going to be pretty rough. If you're leaving, I think we don't have any closing. I'm going to do a news report just a second as soon as I take care of this. So if you guys are watching Z's Gaming Home Theater, we're going to talk about that a little bit in just a second. I ain't going to leave you out. Especially if you're in the East Coast. Guys, stay safe. And please do not drive. Do not drive during the storm. That's why you see a lot of people doing that. It's okay. Yes, it's now that is a half an hour to drink some water. I get that on my phone. By the way, my doctor says to drink at least a gallon of water a day. That'll help me clean me out and maybe lose some water weight. All right. So, what was that? Oh yeah, we were talking about some the weather, and if you're going on a cruise, especially this weekend, the seas are very, very choppy, especially if you're going to Ocean City, New Jersey, New York City, Brooklyn, Manhattan, all those crazy things out there. Yeah, go ahead and clear this thing out. I'm also playing Airport City for all you gamers out there. If you want to be my friend, just type in Airport City. The name is Z's Gaming. You can be my neighbor. We can put build an airport as we speak. So I got that going on. Just waiting for that. They're doing a commercial break. By the way, if you are going on the cruise, and if it's your first time cruising, you need to tell your doctor what kind of things I need if I get motion sickness. I don't get it. I go up to the East Coast. All right, so I think the 2 minutes is over. We're going to go back to the Fox weather. They're talking about what's going on. Let me give you that. This is the latest update of tacos.
Intensified because it really is kind of a hybrid set of storms. It's a really not totally a tropical thing, but here's what's going on. You see, first of all, looking at it, obviously there's a center of circulation right there, and there's also this structure to the north. You see it right there, and big thunderstorms up in here. So the hurricane hunters flying around, and what they found is they got into this part right here, and they found very strong winds. And they got into this part over here, and they found very strong winds. And then they went up in here, and they found the strongest winds kind of well displaced from the center. So that makes it not totally like a normal tropical storm, but close enough to go ahead and get the name. And as Kathy Orr said just a while ago, the fact that they named it Tropical Storm Ophelia just clears it up in the mind of a lot of people. They got to know how to get ready for a tropical storm. Getting ready for some kind of potential tropical cyclone is not so clear. When we look at the winds that are being measured right now, you see here in this buoy just to the north of the system, gusting to 58, out here 47, over here from the north 38, and then down to the south a little bit, gusting to 31. So the winds, the strongest winds, are indeed in this band of wind here where you see the reds. The reds are the computer analysis of the strongest winds, and right there is where you see the strongest winds. Looks like over there, and that's where they measured them, just to the northwest of the system, measured winds at the flight level and like hurricane strength. And so when you take that down, I imagine they'll go with 65 miles per hour, but we'll see. They're doing the final analysis for the 5 o'clock advisory Hurricane Center right now. Now, a good way to look at a tropical system like this is to see where the rain is, because in all systems, it blows harder, the wind is more intense where the heavier rain is. And this isn't really a measure of rain, it's a measure of moisture in the atmosphere, but it's a good way to look at it. And we can see these two parts of the system. One is this band up here, and that's what's blowing like crazy as far north as New Jersey, and of course from Cape Hatteras, and pushing water into Chesapeake Bay along Virginia Beach. Whatnot, it's blowing good there. And then the other that we're going to watch for is the core of the developing tropical storm. You see right now there's no real moisture wrapping around the core, but watch as we go forward in time. So here we go, 6, 7, 8 o'clock tonight. And what we see is we start to see kind of greens wrapping around. Not really dark greens, but we see greens wrapping around the center there. The real dark greens where the intense moisture is up to the north here. Again, pushing the ocean water into Chesapeake Bay, into the inlets, Oregon Inlet there, the northern end of Cape Hatteras, into Pamlico Sound, Albemarle Sound, all those waterways and rivers up and down there in the Carolinas and the Mid-Atlantic. That's going to be going on through the evening into the overnight. Now, a lot of these high tides are happening in the overnight hours, midnight to 2 a.m. This may be the peak of water flooding issues all around those waterways there. By that time, the storm should be inland and maybe a weakening in 8 o'clock in the morning. That's about the time that the center will come ashore. But the main thing to look at here is we see dark greens around the center. So that's the core of the system kind of getting itself organized. Meanwhile, we have this front and this strong flow of moisture and wind that includes the New York area. So by tomorrow morning in New York, Philadelphia, on up and down the I-95 corridor, we should see periods of rain in waves coming in and the water from the ocean being pushed against Wildwood, Atlantic City, Beach Haven, on up to Asbury Park, up and down the Jersey coast. We'll have this push of water in the morning. And then here we are, 8 p.m. tomorrow. And look, we still have this big band of moisture all over the north. And we have a pretty solid band here. So it all kind of fills in. We get this big kind of comma head shaped kind of system here. And a lot of moisture over this incredibly populated part of the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. And look, here we are Sunday morning, and we still have lots of moisture hanging around here in a band all the way up into Maine Sunday morning, and then Sunday evening. You notice the overall wind?
All right, so yeah. Let me get back over here. I'm just checking out my stuff here. So yeah, so getting some emails from classmates.com. They want me to upgrade. It's just a scam. Don't do Classmates. Let's see here. Amazon. All right, I'll just take it for some stuff here. Okay, Amazon Music. Don't care about that. Oh, okay. Yeah, so Foot Subway. So not a lot of things going on. Okay, they're back on again. So we'll get back to the Fox with a live coverage of Ophelia.
Rain that falls back here is going to want to come down those rivers. So up to 5 feet above normal high tide in those rivers there, up to 4 feet in the Sound. And that's not all flooding, by the way, because of the wind coming this way. Once the storm gets up to the north, the wind is going to come back that way in the Sound. So you have what's called Sound side flooding. That is a threat as well. And then up to the north, Chesapeake Bay is a significant threat for water being pushed in there. Kathy Orr, a few minutes ago, if you were watching, was talking about Hurricane Isabel, and that pushed super flooding water as far north as Baltimore. This one is not going to be that strong. You see, up to 3 feet above normal, all the way to the top end of Chesapeake Bay, including Baltimore Harbor here in Annapolis, and also Delaware Bay, and on up the Jersey Shore, up to 3 feet above normal high tide. So, Bob, nasty and dangerous to some degree along the waterfront there, because unfortunately this time of year a lot of folks haven't taken their boats out yet. They'll be inclined to in another month or so, but not yet. So people with boats in the water are going to have to deal with it for the storm.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's still September, by the way. I mean, you're right. People are still out there enjoying it usually. Yeah. Fox Weather Hurricane Specialist Brian Norcross, thank you very much. And now the storm impact is going to go all the way up the north. We've got Friday Night Lights tonight. We've got college football going on tomorrow. We've got NFL on Sunday.
You got baseball tomorrow too.
We do.
You got the Yankees are home, the Phillies are home, the Nationals are home.
Yep.
All big games tomorrow. So what a washout. What about all the kids who are having birthdays? Can't you get off of it? I know. They're at bad news right now. Let's start in Norfolk because we got some stormy conditions. And Bob, we're going to break this down for you. Stormy conditions, thunderstorms, and look at the winds, 30 to 40 miles per hour. You do get a bit of a break on Sunday, but you still have rain through Saturday. And you talk about the amount of rain that's coming down. There's Norfolk for Virginia Beach as well. Solid onshore push. You just heard Brian Norcross talking about it as well. We've been breaking this down for you. 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe waking up from the sound of wind blowing along the windows through the.
All right, we're going to get back over here and talk about some stuff here. Thank you guys for coming in. If those of you are watching and you're going to be watching this on a replay, we are talking about cruising. We are also talking about Tropical Storm Ophelia. I mean, let's name it something different, please, like Greg or Johnny or Lisa or Karen. Don't think it's something real. I better watch myself. So yes, this is what I'm doing today. Today is one of those days you just say, hey, I'm just gonna chill out, find out who's on today, just chill it out. Well, there's still no announcement. There's still no announcement for the godmother of the Jubilee. Everybody knows the cruise director is Kendall Fire, which is a blessing because she is from Texas. She lives in Texas. Thank you, Carvo, for doing that. And everybody knows who I want to be the godmother. Ladies and gentlemen, I want my baby mama Carrie Underwood. I want my baby mama Carrie Underwood to be here. So let me go ahead and check my analytics. So what are we going to do for Saturday? Saturday, I'll be probably doing this real quick. Well, I was going to do a tech show. I will probably do that sometime tomorrow afternoon. Stay tuned for that. Let's see here. We're going to go ahead and look and find out who's on tonight. Let's see here. Not a lot of people on today. Talk about the UN. Talk about that. Oh, okay. So, oh, by the way, if you like to check out the gaming channels that I watch, Mr. White Way appears. He can ready to come on in an hour. Well, at the top of the hour, Mr. Right Way, I might be going on that one and find out. He says, well, I don't agree with him, but he says play PS3. I don't like PlayStation. So, let's see. Here's how to do some stuff. There's not a lot of people on tonight. Wait a minute, hold on. Friday Night Cruise Talk. Let's see who's there. Cruising with Keith will be on at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Central Time. Cruising with Keith. And so next week we'll be going back on the regular schedule. Wake Up with Z-Man and These Power Hour will be on next week. Regular channel, so stay tuned for that. This week has been very interesting. So by the way, I had a doctor's appointment this Tuesday. The total weight loss is good for me. Total weight loss so far is 40 pounds. Talked to my best friend, told him about how much I weigh. He has 48 hours. I think the payment is due the 24th. And just where I'm not gonna borrow him today because today's a busy day. I'm not gonna borrow him tomorrow. Said don't call him. I just gonna tell him about. We have NASCAR racing down here in Fort Worth, Texas. For NASCAR, Xfinity races are tomorrow, Sunday. Let's see here. Just go ahead and click on Facebook. Yeah, this is what I do. This is what I do all day. To talk to people. I like talking to people. Yeah, let me go ahead and check on my Facebook. Yes, I gotta continue with the Facebook thing. I need to check with Derek to see what he has up. What's going on with that? Derek for Island Time will be on Sunday. I hope. Let's see here. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so the Paul Club all over the ship. Oh, December 20th. Oh, they're having a Paul Club on Christmas. That's interesting. Let's see here. I'll go ahead and do my Facebook page. Yes, and if you want to book a cruise, good for people I know, Ocean Travel. There's Scott. All right. So let me go ahead and do this real quick. Go say a message. Any news? Any news? All right. Let me go ahead and hit that. One of my friends is gonna be a grandfather sometime this weekend. Just checking on with that. Derek Phillips. Let me go ahead and check with Derek and I on time. We're taking a break for the coverage. Just gotta make sure everything's okay. Let's see here. Yes, I take up my Facebook. Facebook. The messenger, blogger. Yeah, I'm going that too. Okay, so here's an announcement. Island Time Good Cruise. Let's see here. It's time to start promoting. Okay, so Amber from Island Thai, one of my friends come on the cruise. She is. It's time to start promoting our pub crowd. If you have never before, you're in for a treat. This will be your first ever pub club. I need to meet Amber. Okay, yeah. So wait a minute, this was canceled. Oh, it's been canceled. All right, so that's interesting. It's been canceled. Oh, never mind. Let me go ahead. Find the group. Let me go ahead and check. I do this. I do this on my Facebook, the phone. And yes, I'm getting a new phone. I need to call them. The new in the church name, yeah. Mhm. Let's see here. Our church is doing a 2-day tournament, golf tournament, but this is what I'm doing all day. Okay, let's go ahead and go. Find new comments on the latest post. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Just checking my stuff here. Mm-hmm. Congratulations on your first win. Grandma and Pop Pop are very proud of you. Okay, hold on. Yeah, see my phone has been acting like crazy. Give me a second so I can do this while I'm doing this live. Anything's possible. Anything's possible when I do live. Y'all know that. Congratulations for your first win. Grandma and Pop Pop are very proud of you. Your first win. Grandma and Pop Pop are very proud of you. Pop Pop are proud of you. Really? Are very proud of you, and so am I. Sometimes it be like in that. See, now I know. I gotta get a new phone. So, but yeah, my nieces and nephews are very athletic. So, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And they're very, very smart too, which is also awesome. All right, let me go ahead and see what's going on Island Time. See they're gonna be on tonight. I mean, dun, 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 dun. Okay. He always has something going on. Mm-hmm. Let me go ahead and put my picture on here. Picture. Getting closer to the first sailing. Who is all going on the first sailing of the Carnival Jubilee? Sailing of the Carnival Jubilee. Yeah, so let me get back over here. I forgot about the letter. Yes, I gotta do that quickly. Yeah. All right, they're back on.
The Michael Jackson song PYT.
PYT.
And I kept
For the
saying
young
BTC. Yeah.
Exactly.
It was ridiculous. It was like, what does that mean? How does that happen?
I know.
And basically, the National Hurricane Center, they were like, all right, we get to give it watches and warning.
What project is your pillar ready for another school year?
Really? Okay, sorry about that commercial. Okay, okay, now I'm gonna, my apologize. Y'all didn't hear that. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna get out of here. I'll be back sometime this afternoon. Just want to get the latest update of the weather. They're talking about stuff that's not supposed to. Let's see if they do it.
It's so big.
It's just like, it doesn't matter what the name is because the impacts are going to be the same.
That is key, right? That's key. You talk about the winds and the rain and the flooding and the storm surge. That's what's all going to add up when we look at the storm later on. I always like to, people do great research papers on these after these storms. I think this was going to have a lot to really look up.
I think so. It's just like when you were in central New York, it's like, is it lake effect snow coming under or is it synoptic snow? And people, they're like, I don't care. It's snow. It doesn't matter how it's made. It's the same result. So yeah, that's exactly what we're looking at. So
it's so true.
It's interesting that this thing finally did get a name right before landfall. So at least we got that. That's good.
Yeah, exactly. When I'm running tomorrow, I can be like, oh, this is part of.
I can't believe you're running that half marathon.
That's crazy.
So the poor guy trains for 6 months for a half marathon in Jersey City. We get 30 to 40, 50-mile-per-hour gusts with a blasting rain in your face.
I'm telling you what, if it's a headwind, I'm going to be crying.
Yeah, but if it's a backwind, PR.
Okay, then I've got it.
I wish it was underground for you. It's definitely not. I mean,
we'll see how it goes.
I'm wishing you luck. I'm just feeling bad for you. And hey, be sure to share your weather videos and photos with the Fox Weather team. When you post your images, use the hashtag FoxWeatherShare to let.
All right, so they're just talking about some BS. It's not the top of the hour. Yeah, it's a top of the hour. I'm getting ready to get out of here because I got to put my groceries away. Yes, it's plan is something beyond sometime tonight. Probably might do it at 9 o'clock. Nobody's on at 9 o'clock. Let me go ahead and do it at 9 o'clock. And by the way, if you want to be on the panel, if you want to talk about cruising, if you want to talk about home theater, if you want to talk about gaming, give me a holler, give me a shot. Do it on my community page. If you have StreamYard, we'll go ahead and do that. StreamYard is pretty good. Nick Native will be on tomorrow morning. He does a couple hours show, talk about tech stuff, talk about the home theater. Not home theater. Talks about YouTube. I need to go back on and find me a good YouTube channel for home theater and get on their panel live. But yes, guys, thank you guys for coming in. If you, like I said, guys, don't forget to hit that button, the bell button. They'll tell you when I come on. A lot of people say, "Hey, he's not on. When is he gonna be on?" You got to hit that bell button. That bell button is key. You want to know when I can be on? You got to hit that bell button. I'd like to thank the only person that came on today, Butterflies, bro. Thank you. He's the only one that he sees me on. Butterflies, thank you for always supporting me. I appreciate you. He is a fellow Texan. He's doing great. Check out his channel. His channel is growing like crazy. Yes, I'm getting ready to get to another milestone. Trying to hit that 1,100 subscribers by the end of the month, end of September. But guys, thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate everybody for coming in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. By the way, stay safe this weekend if I don't see you. Do not drink and drive. Do not hang around with knuckleheads to do. Peace out. Deuces. Always out.